Hi, Natasha.
Hi Taylor, how are you?
I'm good. Big fan. We actually interviewed you back, what was that, 2018 for Love, Simon?
Oh my God,
It's
yes!
been a minute.
In a minute, in a minute.
But I'm so excited about this show. We've come to know and love you from your supporting roles from like Insecure, Love, Simon, White Lotus. What does it mean to you now to have this starring role in this TV show at this point in your career?
I mean, it is really a literal dream come true. I think when I started out on this journey, and majored in theater in college. I was doing theater in high school. I was doing church plays when I was a little baby, so I was always performing. And I grew up. I was raised by TV, and to have my own show on television is just something that I didn't even think to dream. So it's just been a really surreal moment to have to be in this place now. Yeah.
Yeah. Why was Melissa's story the one you wanted to tell? What about this project? Because you're show running, you co-created co-show running and starring. Why was this the project?
Well, these opportunities don't come
Mm.
often, especially to creators of color. And so when given an opportunity, I didn't want to I didn't want to leave any chicken on the bone, baby. I wanted to really do the damn thing. And there was a real need for me to take the advice that I learned through improv, which is follow the fear. And so the things that scared me the most, I wanted to run towards them. And I think that's also a consequence of having been in therapy for 20 years. And
Ooh.
I wanted
Mm.
to share my experience and my journey. Because you don't graduate from therapy. They never told me that. I thought you get a degree and you just
I'm
done.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm evolved. I'm enlightened. Thank you so much. But apparently, you just keep learning the same mistakes over and over again, but you learn them better each time. And
Mm.
so I wanted to show a protagonist that is catalyzed to do the work, but is makes mistakes because that's just what the real process looked like. And yeah, if I only got one shot to make a show, I wanted it to be that.
Mm. The show oscillates between like really somber and kind of dark at times to then really absurd and not too many spoilers, but like one character dies and then you promptly throw up on her. Um, Tell me about the tone and how that comes together on screen because it's really fun to watch.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think one of my favorite things is delighting and surprising audiences. And um it's also an opportunity to play a character and to be a part of a show that allows me, a plus size Black woman, to take up space and to have the full range of emotion and have the depth to play, the slapstick all in, and have the moment to, make you feel and make you think. And it was just a privilege to be able to do it because that's life. That's life. We go to work, we put on our mask, then we're in the car, we're talking to our friend, we're laughing, we're kikiing, then you go home and then you cry and then you laugh yourself. Our days are as frenetic as that. And so it was important for me to have that reality reflected and to have someone look like me have those moments too.
Yeah. And then so I'm here for Out Magazine, and I one thing that the chaotic woman and her gay accomplice doesn't get enough attention on television, I think. Why was that dynamic a role that you wanted to explore and why Conrad? Because also just love Conrad so much.
I mean, honestly, like that's the answer to the question. Like Conrad Ricamora, like anything that I can get him to do, I want. But I also think like the dynamic between two people who are struggling with who they are and who
Mm.
they want to be.
Hmm.
And I think that they are thick as thieves. They have a toxicity that I think can sometimes be a part of those relationships. And to be able to explore how they hinder each other after Mel has her awakening, I think was really important. And I mean, there's no one better than Conrad, and just to play opposite him, it's a dream come true. I mean, if I could write a letter to the version of me that was watching him on how to get away with murder, I'd be like, girl, he gonna be your best friend on the show and in real life. But I love him dearly. Yeah.
That's so funny. And I'm like, did you get to act with Michaela or not Michaela? Aja on Black Girl sketch show? I'm not sure. But fast forward, last question for you. Is there a central theme or message you hope fans take away from the show after viewing?
Yeah. I mean, I really hope audiences watch the show and are reminded to keep going, and that it's a journey, and it's an opportunity to, and an invitation to have grace with yourself and patience with yourself and empathy for others. And hopefully it makes people feel less alone.
And I'm so excited about the show. There aren't too many TV shows with a Black woman and Asian man leading it. What does that mean to you as an actor and creator?
Well, I wrote this show called No Rice a few years ago that was based on because my friends and I, my two best friends that were are gay Asian men, we came across this article that the dating apps released their data about who was the least desirable, and it was Asian men and Black women. And my friends and I were like, "Yeah, this has been our experience. We know." Why you got to say the quiet part out loud? And but I really wanted to do the show because I've been a fan of Natasha's ever since I saw her in the bit part in Love, Simon. She stole the
Yeah.
show. Yeah, she's incredible. And then everything from getting tased at Coachella to then being, surprising us all by playing Belinda in season 1 of White Lotus. I really was like, oh, we've only seen 5% of what this genius can do. And so I'm so happy that she is now creating worlds for her to express these different characters that live inside of her and these different worlds that she so brilliantly lays out for all of us to enjoy.
Yeah, and your character Rory gets to be really funny, gets to have multiple love interests. What was your favorite part of the character to play or, favorite scene from the show that without spoiling too much?
Sure. No, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, when the trailer dropped and I go, no, Woman King, because that was, I improv that line because it was around the same time as Ariana DeBose at the BAFTAs. And I, of course, being from How to Get Away with Murder, I loved watching Woman King. So I loved sneaking that like in there. And I was so happy that it made it in because I was like, oh, yay. I got my little writing credit for that one joke in.
And made it
But
to the trailer, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But shooting those scenes where Natasha and I get to be friends because I think that we actually are like soulmates in a way because from the moment I met her, it felt like I'd known her for years and years. And actually, funny story, because we are friends now. When we were hanging out one day, we realized both of our dads were in the Air Force. And come to find out, she went to a high school in Northwest Florida that was only like 15 miles from my high school.
Oh.
So we might have crossed paths when we were in high school because we're about the same age. So yeah, it's being able to be friends with her on screen and now off screen has been the biggest gift of this show.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. I can't wait to see how the story plays out. Um, and also, so also like you kind of mentioned this before, you played one of the most iconic gay couples on television in How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
Um, what does representation mean to you? Like LGBTQ representation as well, because I've been seeing you, this show, How to Get Away with Murder, Fire Island on Broadway. What does that mean
Yeah.
to you going into these roles? Yeah.
No, that's something that I've loved about doing this on the back of first How to Get Away with Murder and then with Fire Island to see that because as Asian American men, we're so often taught by our own parents and our own Asian American culture to just behave and be very, keep your head down and work hard and don't make waves. And so to be able to play somebody so sloppy like Rory, on the heels of being a part of Fire Island, where Joel got to play somebody extremely sloppy. And then you know, years before that, playing Oliver, who was so buttoned up and so like timid and shy and scared of the world. I really love that we're seeing now this diversity of portrayals of expressions and representation within our own community. So we're not just, you know, existing in any one capacity. We're multifaceted and layered, like we all are in real life.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy what
Um,
happens when you show what we're all capable of.
yeah. When we can tell our own stories. And can you
Yeah.
just give us a little hint about the arc that Rory is about to embark on just before the show premieres next week, right?
Yeah, no, you know, when we meet Rory, he is living unabashedly a very non-monogamous life. And, uh, you know, that's the thing I love. To me, Rory is not committing and proud of it, but I also think deep down inside it's because he's scared nobody's gonna love him back. So
Mm.
he, before they can reject him, he can reject everyone else, which I've definitely been there in my own personal.
Relatable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so what happens when you're confronted with somebody that's like, I'm not going anywhere, so what do you want to do?
Mm.
And I that comes with its own challenges, because then you have to like accepting that somebody loves you. Ooh, accepting that somebody loves you is a lot harder than it seems like it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited for this show. I do have my last question. I do have to ask about the idea of a Fire Island 2. I don't know if it's coming or if you know any of the plot or if anything's happening right now, but what do you have like a fantasy storyline for your character on that show? Anything that you just think would be really funny and silly?
I think it would be funny for a Fire Island 2 for my character and Joel's character not to be married, but to have like adopted kids. I just
Ooh.
think it would be so unexpected, and then it becomes this not only like a, you know, a friend's vacation movie, but it becomes like this, you know, cheaper by the dozen, like like wild, like family trying to keep your family together, like keep track of your family type story as well. I think that would be it would be really fresh and unexpected. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I we're on a group thread all the time and spitballing like, Joel, hurry, write something. So that, because it was like it was the best time hanging out with all of those guys. So I hope to get to do it again.
Yeah. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for your time today. We love you so much and
Oh,
can't wait for the
Taylor,
show to be released into the world.
thanks so much for talking to me. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, of course.